Hello, happy Tuesday. Welcome to Life Strategies with Nat for the entrepreneurial women. I'm your host, Natalia, aka Nat, and I'm here every Tuesday. I'm the founder of the Life Fulfillment Academy. I'm so excited to be here. We are talking about imposter syndrome. It is part 3 of a series that we've been doing, or that I've been doing over the last several weeks. Before I kind of jump into it, I just want to touch on the fact that it has never been a more exciting, better time to be in the entrepreneurial space, especially as a woman. Women are, like, more and more of us are getting into the political positions. We are a part of this movement. We're making the world a better place, and it is exciting, and it is just absolutely amazing to be able to work with women every day, with people every day that have this yearning for more, this wanting to contribute, this wanting to make an impact, to make a difference. And I am extremely excited because I get to help you. I get to help you transform and create that. And, you know, if you are wanting to create a 6-7 figure business, you absolutely can do it. Absolutely 100%. But it is not easy. And if anyone has told you that it is, they are lying to you. Blatant lies, because it is really, really difficult. And I know, even from speaking with a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of coaches, especially heart-centered coaches like myself, we find it hard to really pick a niche. And I focus on female entrepreneurs because, well, I am one, and I relate to you. I know what it feels like to not to have those struggles, but I know what it feels like to have that unstoppable mindset too, to be able to just reach out and just go do it. Just throw caution to the wind and just do your thing. It's so exciting. And you know, it's about creating a business, but it's also about creating a life. It's like, and so many people say, well, how do you do that? Like, I meet so many people that have fallen out of love with their business, or they've fallen out of love with life. I mean, kind of like I did 2 years ago, but it's about really reconnecting with your mind, body, and soul. And you need a system, you need a process, but more than that, you need you. You need you 100%. No one else is going to do it for you. No one else is going to take the action. No one else is going to tap into their potential. No one else is going to be able to get the results that you do, because you alone have those experiences. You have this unique superpower. And, you know, you have to have certainty. And I'm doing this mastermind with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. And, you know, I'm a part of if you've been following me, you know what, I work with a business coach as well, Michelle Stonehill, and she's gone mortgage-free at 33, which is incredible. I'm so happy for her. And I tell you this not to brag. I tell you this because I want you to understand how important it is for you to invest in your growth, invest in your personal development, refine your skills. I want to be the best coach that I can be, the best mentor that I can be, the best person that I can be. And this is me showing up for you every week, giving you value. It's a fraction of what we do in my mentorship program. My mentorship program is 6 months. I'm mentioning it now because there's another enrollment coming up, and I know like lots of people have been asking me, when is that starting? I had 5 spaces this morning. I only have 4 spaces left on the calendar for next week. So PM me after this if you are interested. But not only that, if you are serious about taking your success to that next level, about creating a life that you are absolutely in love with, a business that you are absolutely in love with. And on that note, let's get to the training for today. I'm just going to look at some notes here. But as you're logging in, guys, give me a hashtag live if you're here, or a hey. It's always nice to see who's on. And if you're watching on the replay, give me a hashtag replay as well. It's great for me just to see if this is the right time for people, where you're logging in from. And I just, like, if you have questions as we go through, drop them in the comments and I will be sure to come back afterwards. So just to recap, we are talking mindset this week. We are talking imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is this psychological phenomenon that basically says to yourself, like, I suck on so many levels. Like, I'm not good enough. I don't have the skills required. I can't do it. This, like, really just negative, heavy mindset that we're all guilty of doing. I mean, me, myself included. But it's about learning how to, be aware of it so that you can quickly snap yourself out of it. But being able to quickly snap yourself out of it, it starts with self-awareness, but it also takes practice. It takes you changing the dialogue with yourself. It takes you talking to yourself in a positive way. Yes, I can do this. I may not be there yet, but I am on my way. So it's those kinds of things, not I can't do this, or I'll never be able to, or it's not perfect. Remember, we did talk about the perfectionist. We talked about the perfectionist and the superwoman, or man, if depending on who's watching. But the I'll start with the perfectionist. The perfectionist is that person they're never really satisfied with their work. They're always, they always think it can be better. Like, it's not perfect, right? And this person is beating themselves up because they're setting this bar so ridiculously high that they're not even acknowledging their wins, how far they've come. Like, we are so hard on ourselves sometimes. And the superwoman is the woman that, or the man, again, superhuman, the person that is, they feel guilty for slowing down, for taking breaks, for doing that self-care that's so important to us. They're the last ones in the office, even when they've done all their work, just because they feel like they have something to prove. They may have a title that they don't really feel like they've earned because they don't feel knowledgeable, or as knowledgeable as they should be, for whatever reason. So it's changing the dialogue, telling yourself that you are enough. You don't have to be perfect. It's not about perfection. It's about excellence. I say this all the time. And the three characters that I wanted to talk about, the three other imposter syndrome types that I wanted to talk about today are the natural genius, the soloist, and the expert. So let's look at the natural genius. So this is someone that is let me just read my note for a sec. So they see themselves as natural geniuses. They get things really easy. They judge their competence based on not just how easy it is for them, but how long it takes for them. So they're kind of like the perfectionists, but on the next level. So it's like, if you take a long time to master something, you feel like you failed. That kind of attitude. So give me some hearts if you relate to this, or if you have ever experienced sort of feeling like this. And if you're still not sure, it's like you're setting the bar so high that it's just not achievable. You're setting yourself up for disappointment. So, you could be someone, let me ask you, did you get straight A's, gold stars growing up? Do you dislike having a mentor because you think you can do it yourself? You want to be able to do it yourself. You can handle it yourself. Maybe not want, but you think you can handle it yourself. Do you avoid challenges because it's uncomfortable. Like to something, like to the point where you don't want to try something that you think you're not going to be great at. But that's crazy, because we all have to try, right? We all have to start somewhere. And it's impossible, and I hate that word because everything's possible in my mind, but you're just setting yourself up for disappointment if you can't accept the fact that life is a journey. It's not the destination. You are continuously growing. So how do you overcome this? How can you overcome the imposter syndrome of being a natural genius? Because I can relate to each and every one of these character types at some point in my life, in my career, whether it was mainly back in like corporate, or that I can remember a lot of these things coming up for me. But it was also in my journey becoming a female entrepreneur, like starting your business. It's very difficult. You can talk yourself out of doing almost anything, but you have to really actually be on the opposite end. You have to be strong enough. You have to be certain that it's gonna happen. It doesn't matter the results, because the results are what keep you going, right? They say, oh, maybe I need to pivot here, or maybe I need to switch gears, but it's never about stopping. So I want you to remember that. So how can we battle this? So see yourself as a work in progress. Just tell yourself repeatedly, I'm a work in progress, and that's okay. Accomplishing great things involves lifelong learning and experiences. Ask any successful millionaire, billionaire in the world, like they'll tell you the same. And so rather than beat yourself up, identify specific things, specific changeable behaviors that you can improve on over time. One of the things that I would say is your dialogue with yourself. Like, notice how you speak to yourself. I'm going to park that, but just start paying attention, get curious. Here's a good example. So if you're at work and you want to make an impact, or if you are starting a business and you want to make an impact, instead of shying away from Facebook Lives, for example, or presentations, instead of saying like, oh, I can't do that, I'm just not going to entertain even doing a Facebook Live or doing a speaking event. No, change that to, how can I hone my skills? How can I better my skills so that I can be the best presenter in the world? Or whatever that looks like for you, whatever success looks like for you, because it's different for everybody, right? So try and play with that if you identify with the natural genius, imposter syndrome, or imposter. Okay, so the next one I wanted to talk to you about was the soloist. So the soloist, people suffering from this type of imposter syndrome in particular, they feel like asking for help is going to reveal somehow how phony they are, which is crazy. It's just how phony they think they are. And that's part of that's where the imposter syndrome comes from, right? Like, you feel like you're a complete fraud. You don't know anything, right? But that's really just not the case at all. And it's okay to be independent, absolutely, but not to the extent that you resist assistance, so that you have, not to the point where you need to prove your worth. Like, when it starts to become more egotistical, that's when you need to kind of say, okay, hang on, do I really need help right now? Or is this just me being stubborn? Is this just me being difficult? You have to ask yourself those questions. If you feel like you're at a point where you need help, you know what, when this happens, at least for me, it's like you're working so hard, and you're not getting the results you want. That's a big clue that, hey, I'm holding my hand up. I need assistance. So yeah, this one is about kind of, I find most people that fall into this character type or this type of imposter have a real challenge with self-worth, or they feel like they're not good, like they're not worthy. Again, another just general characteristic of imposter syndrome. So if this is you, this is like you're at, like, I'm going to ask you some questions. It's like, do you feel the need to accomplish things on your own? Do you frame, this one's really interesting. Do you frame requests in terms of requirements, like a project, versus your needs as a person? I really like that one. And by the way, like this is all coined by Dr. Victoria Young. She's a psychologist, and I was reading some of her work, and this is where I got these 5 types, these 5 character types from, imposter syndrome types. So the last one I want to talk about today is the expert. So how many of you have just shuddered at the thought of me telling you that you're an expert at something? A lot of us do, especially women. Like, we just don't like to call ourselves, or we don't like to brag. We see this as like, it's like when someone tells you, oh, you know, great dress, or like great hair. And you're like, oh, this old thing. Like, it's like, we're the worst at taking compliments, aren't we? Well, at least I am. But anyway, that's not kind of just went off on a tangent there. But anyway, so experts, they kind of they measure their competence based on what and how much. So what and how much they know or can do. So the problem is they believe, and again, this is like a limiting belief, but they believe that they will never know enough. You're afraid of looking like you don't have all the answers, in a way. Like, you're afraid of being exposed as this inexperienced, unknowledgeable person. And, you know, I'll ask you a few questions if you're not sure, like, this is where you're at. It's like, do you shy away from job postings when you don't meet every single one of the requirements? This was huge. This is a huge one. I'm thinking back to my corporate days when I would have staff come to me and they're like, I want to apply for this position, but I don't think I'm ready. Are we ever ready? Like, I know I'm not. It's just about going for it. It's about giving your all, though, at the same time. It's not about doing things half-assed, right? And the other thing I want to ask you is, like, are you constantly seeking out trainings and certifications? Not because you don't want to develop and grow, but because you feel like you need to improve your skills in order to succeed. It's that feeling like you're never knowledgeable enough, like you need to keep going. And like, I'm a serial learner for sure. I just told you, like, I'm in a mastermind and I'm working with a business coach, and I've got all these things going on in terms of my own personal development, but I am well aware that, like, I'm confident and I'm certain of what I know. And if I don't know, then I'm okay with it. I'm okay with saying, you know what, I don't know that. Let me go and find out the answer to that. Or let me bring in a guest expert. I bring in guest experts all the time. I try to bring in someone every other week so that I can have that compliment for you guys, deliver value for you guys, because that's my mission. I want to help as many people as I can create the business, create the life that they love, so that you can get to that next level of success. But again, it starts with you. It's your mindset. It's how you feel, how healthy you are from the inside out, and how clear you are on your mission and your vision, not just in business, but for your life as a whole. So the other question I want to ask you, if you're still not sure if you fall, I hate using the word victim, but if you identify with this expert imposter syndrome, so even if you've been in a role for a really long time, can you relate to the feeling that you still don't know enough? This one was big for me. I used to think this all the time. Anyway, I won't. And then I kind of asked you the first question, like, did you just shudder at the thought of you even saying that you're an expert at anything? You got to own it. Own your expertise. You're not going to know every single nook and cranny. That's fine. But you are an expert at what you do. You have a superpower. You have this thing that just, makes your heart sing, and you just know it in and out. And I mean, that would be boring if you knew everything, wouldn't it? Anyway, that's my story. That's my 2 cents. So, it's true that there will always be things to learn. Life is a journey, right? Like I say this a lot, it's a journey, it's not a destination. It's this continuous quest to be the best, to do the best you can, and to have everything that you possibly could ever want. But it doesn't start with have. It starts with, who do you have to be? Who do you have to become? And that is about developing this unstoppable mindset, this and this energy that you can only get when you are healthy from the inside out. When you eat good things, when you drink, good things. You're not like getting wasted every night. Like it's just not the person that you need, that is gonna get to that next level of success. The last thing I wanted to end with is, I was saying, like, there's always going to be, like, always about learning and growing, but it's about how we grow, how we progress, because progression equals happiness. And when you take massive action, you will get results. But it's that feeling, that certainty, that momentum of you just keeping going and not losing sight of your why, not losing sight of what it is you're here to do, what it is you're here to achieve. Just keep going. Do not give up. Don't you dare give up. It's okay to sort of step back and just re-strategize. That is perfectly fine. But just to just think that you can't, not acceptable. Not acceptable. Okay. I think that's about all the time we have for today. So I thank you so much for watching. Please PM me if you are interested in the next enrollment for my Make It Happen mentorship program at 6 months. If you have questions about it, the strategy call that we'll have will be 45 minutes, and it'll be about me just understanding where you're at and how I can help you, and if we're a good fit. So I hope to hear from you, and I hope this has, more than anything, just added a lot of value for you today. Have an awesome rest of the day, and we'll see you soon. Bye.